Live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you live from beautiful Budapest. Hi Tito, nice to see you in this class as well. Kamal, Jahongir, Norma Matov, Ildar, good to see many students. In this class, we are looking at the listening section, specifically focusing on part 1 and 2. This lesson and material is presented to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, check us out there. For the general version of the exam, check us out at gieltshelp.com. We'll use these websites today for the listening materials. Students, if you haven't done this yet, download and link the apps Academic IELTS Help to the academic web account and general IELTS Help to the general account. We're always working to improve these apps, these products, adding new materials, new exams, new videos. So be on the cutting edge of IELTS preparation. If you have questions about the exam or our services, send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com, and I will gladly respond as quickly as possible. Elena, Preeti, good to see more of our members here in the lesson. Again, you can buy our books from Amazon also, AE Helps Academic IELTS and GE Helps General IELTS, so check those out. And let's get into some listening. So students, get a piece of paper, a pencil, pen ready, or a separate document. Please do not write your answers in the chat. We're going to listen to part 1. Please do not write your answers in the chat. Give everybody a chance to answer on their own. We will go through the answers together and we'll talk about strategies. So get ready. I'm using this microphone and a Bose speaker for the audio. So if it's quiet for you, please try to use a headset or turn up the volume on your end. Okay, let's hop over. This is our academic IELTS website. You can click that big red button to join our premium package. When you do, you'll get a My Student account. When you log into your My Student account, you get access to all of our amazing materials that we've been developing over the past 10 years, including computer-based IELTS practice exams, a online course, PDF exams, study plans, and lesson videos, and then of course audio CDs, and that's why I'm here. I know it's a little bit bright for you. I'm gonna maybe darken it up a little bit for this listening so you can see this a bit better. All right, and this is coming from CD4 track 1. This is our 4th exam. So let's get into it. I'm going to turn up the volume. It's definitely maximum on my side of the deal. So again, use a headset. Yep, max volume. All right. So CD4 track 1. Here we go. Again, students, wait until the end. Please do not put your answers into the chat. 3, 2, 1, here we go.
This recording is copyrighted by 2 Think One Solutions Inc. and World ESL Tutors. You will hear several different recordings, and you will answer questions on what you hear. There will be time given to read the instructions and questions, and you will be given a chance to check your work. The recordings will be played only once. The test is made up of 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to section 1. Listening section 1. You will hear a conversation between a student and a university administrator. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. you will see that there is an example. This time only, the conversation relating to this question will be played.
Oh, hi there. Is this the University Registrar's office?
Yes, it is. I'm Deborah Reed, the university's assistant registrar. What can I help you with today?
Great. Thank you for seeing me today, Ms. Reed. I have a few concerns about my registration for the upcoming semester.
The student says she has concerns about registration, so B has been indicated for you. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Oh, hi there. Is this the University Registrar's office?
Yes, it is. I'm Deborah Reed, the university's assistant registrar. What can I help you with today?
Great. Thank you for seeing me today, Ms. Reed. I have a few concerns about my registration for the upcoming semester.
Certainly. What can I help you with? Sorry, what was your name again, Ms.?
Anderson, Melanie Anderson. And well, my first question concerns my student record. I'm beginning my second year of uni, but my first didn't go so well.
You're worried about your marks then, Ms. Anderson, and how they impact your registration status?
Exactly. I don't know my precise average, but it is not good. Could you look into this for me?
Absolutely. Could you please spell your last name for me? I've seen it spelt with either an E or an O in the final syllable.
It's an E. Andersen. My family ancestry is Swedish.
Right then. And the next piece of information I need is your student registration number.
Okay, seems I've left my student identification with my registration number on it in the car. Can I give you some other piece of information or identification?
Yes, you can. Along with your surname, I can find your account with your date of birth.
Great. It's the 20th of August, 1997.
The 20th of August, 1997?
Yes, that's right.
All right. Let's see your account then. Okay, here it is. Well, I see what you mean about your marks. These are certainly not ideal. However, your average is above the level necessary to proceed to year 2 of your programme. However, I do see there's a hold on your account which is preventing you from registering for classes.
Yes. See, I thought that was because of my marks.
No, it's not. It's actually because you have unpaid library fines.
Library fines?
Yes. During the past year, you must have been tardy in returning some items to the university library.
Yes, I think I was. Hardly seems like a good reason to prevent a student from registering, though.
I know how you feel, but books are expensive for the university library to acquire, and we must coerce students to pay fines one way or another.
How much do I owe?
£6.20.
£6.20? Well, I suppose it's a relief the total is so small.
You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 6 to 10.
Well, now that that is out of the way, I did have another concern. I need advice on what modules to take in my first semester. I'm in the BA Art History program, but as you can see from my record, I failed a class which is a prerequisite for 2 modules I'm supposed to take this semester.
Yes, it looks like that's right. It was Art History 1270 that you failed. Is that right?
1270. Yes, I took it with Professor Calder. I found his teaching style did not match my learning style.
Right. Well, that art history class is indeed a prerequisite for both Art History 2170 and 2260.
Yes, unfortunately, that's what I found out earlier. Is there anything that can be done?
Well, Miss Anderson, I think there is. Here's what we'll do. We'll register you in the module you failed last year, and then we'll put you in Art History 2240, which counts towards your degree in place of 2260. 2240 has no prerequisite, however.
But what about the 2170 class?
Yes, well, that's where we'll have to be creative. Are you comfortable taking an extra class in the spring semester?
Yes, I think so.
Good. We will register you in 1270 and 2240 in the fall, and then register you in 2170 in the spring.
Great. And one final question. Is Professor Calder teaching art history 1270 again this autumn?
Yes, he is, but I've put you in Professor Hennessy's section instead. I think you'll be more successful.
That is the end of section 1. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, students, so make sure to check your answers in that half minute. Let me just pause the audio here, then we'll go through these together. All right, so let's go through the answers and then we'll talk a little bit of strategy. Let me just brighten up our day a tiny bit here. There we go. All right, so here we go, students. Listening Test 4 from our second exam book, section 1. Here you saw this example. What does the student need help with? Now, since this year, from 2020, you do not have this example in the listening section. So don't expect it. That won't be there for you, okay? All right, so let's get into question 1. In which year of the university is the student enrolled in? Is it A, first year, B, second year, or C, third year? So in which year is the student enrolled in? Nishi Garg says 1 should be B. Anish Kunwar says 1 is B in second year. Yeah, she says, I'm in my second year of studies. Yeah, so B is the correct answer. So in your answer key, you want to put the capital letter B. Perfect. Okay, and make sure you have that nice indent so it doesn't look like a D, but it looks clearly like a B. If you give an answer like this, okay, you'll get that wrong. Even though there's no D option, they'll mark that wrong because it's unclear. It looks like a D. So make sure you use clear writing, okay? All right, number 2. What is the student concerned about most? Here, the word most is a very important word. A, her marks. B, her registration status. Or C, her identification. Number 2, A, B, or C? All right, looks like a lot of people are giving A, her marks, but it's not, okay? She's mostly concerned about her registration status. The correct answer is B again, okay? Let's take a look why. It looks like a lot of you got that wrong. So let's take a look why, okay? There's a couple of different points that should help you figure out that number 2 was in fact B, and I'll show you what those clues were. So when you're having a little bit of difficulty like this, it's always a good idea to check the transcripts. Transcripts are usually in the back of the book. We have them in the back of our books. Transcripts means the actual script for this audio, okay? So let's take a look at why that was B. All right. So here you see Deborah register saying, you are worried about your marks then, Miss Anderson, and how they impact your registration status. And then she says, exactly, I don't know my precise average, but it's not good. Could you take a look into this for me? So she's worried about her marks, but she's worried mostly about how they impact or affect her registration status. Okay, that was clue number 1. Okay, the second clue was actually a little bit later, and this is why it's important always to check your answers in that time that you have, in that 30 seconds. She says that, She says, Deborah says here, let's see your account then. Well, I see what you mean about your marks. These are certainly not ideal. However, your average is above the level necessary to proceed to year 2 of your program. However, I do see there's a hold on your account which is preventing you from registering for classes. Yes, see, I thought that was because of my marks. So she's worried that she cannot register for her classes. In university, and probably in many universities that you attended, if you owe the university money for late books or other reasons, they do not let you register for the next year of classes. So here, clearly, Melanie was really worried about not being able to register. She thought it was the marks, but it's not the marks. It was for not paying late fines for books. Ildar says, oh, I got it. Yeah, there it was. Okay. All right. So again, students, just a quick tip here. When you're not clear about the answers, okay, check the transcripts to figure it out. Always take a few minutes. So tip number 1 for today, always check the transcripts for wrong answers in the listening section and take a minute to figure out why you got the answer wrong. Okay, so you don't make that same mistake in the official exam. Is that clear, students? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? All right, let's hop back to the questions. Okay, don't rush. Always take time for feedback. All right. So, here we go. Questions 3 to 5. Complete the notes below. Write no more than 3 words and or a number for each answer. So here it's just a form completion, short answers. Okay, it's 3 words maximum. Her name, what is it? She says it 2 times or 3 times, and she actually spells it. Okay, Violet says number 3 is Anderson, spelled with E's. So Anderson, Andere, sorry, Dersen. Anderson. Yep. And Anisha Kunwar is saying, well, you can write it like this too. Yeah, and you can do that, okay? So you can write all capital letters in the listening section. That's absolutely okay. Same with the reading section. You can use all capitals. Here's a really cool trick to use, especially in the paper-based exam, because in the paper-based exam, you put your answers into the question booklet, and then at the end, you have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet, okay? Now, in listening, it's actually faster to write lowercase, okay? So this is faster and it's more accurate. Okay, this would be wrong because the A is small. However, I can transfer and write all capital. I just have to make sure that I keep the same spelling, okay? So this is a tip, but only do this if you practice it and you are sure, okay? So Anderson, E instead of an O for that last vowel. Joanne, Justy, okay? So it's not with an O, it's with an E. Anderson. She says it's Swedish, that's why it's the different spelling. So here's kind of another tip, students. So tip 2, okay? You can write, okay, this is for the paper-based. In the computer-based, you have to type, but typing's faster, right? Because typing is typing, so if you're typing all capitals, it's fine. So it's different, but this is for the paper-based exam. Okay, it doesn't apply to the computer-based because typing is different than writing by hand. So you can write your answers all in lowercase in the question booklet to be fast and precise. okay? Because writing all lowercase is faster and it's more precise than writing uppercase, okay? Then change all of your answers to uppercase when you transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Okay? Now, be careful to double check your spelling and not lose any part of your answer. Does that make sense, students, what I just told you there? That's especially for the paper-based exam. So let me erase this and read that back to you. So this is my second tip. You can write your answers in all lowercase in the question booklet. This is just for the listening section, so that you're faster and more precise. And then when you're transferring your answers to your answer sheet, you have about 10 minutes, then change them all to uppercase, okay? Just be careful, double check your spelling, don't lose any part of the answer. Does that make sense? It's a really useful advice, okay? All right. So, let's hop back here. So that was Anderson, okay? Birthday. When is Ms. Anderson born? All right. When was Miss Anderson born? 20th of August. Yeah, the easiest way to get this correct is just that. Aug 20. You can use abbreviations. And you don't need the superscript, the TH, okay? So this is called the superscript. You don't need the superscript, TH. You can just finish with the number, okay? So just AUG 20. It's totally fine, all right? How much does she owe? Library fines. What does she owe, students? What does she owe? Kaur Sidhu says she owes £6.20. Pence. £6.20 is correct. 6.20. Don't write pounds. Don't write the symbol because you have that, okay, in the question booklet. So all you need is this number. You just need to put 6.20 into the answer sheet. Perfect. Okay. Doing hot. Doing good. Let's keep rocking and rolling forward. Number 6, write no more than 3 words for each answer. Of course, always pay attention, okay, to the question. Muyasar, if you didn't catch something, send me an email, okay? All right, so number 6, what program is the student in? So what program is the student in? Kamal, you need a dot after 6, okay? So, what program is this student in? Nishi Garg says BA Arts History. It's art history. Okay, so BA Art History. Sure, you'll get it for that. Even if you just put art history, that's okay. If you caught the BA Art History, that's okay too. Sure. We'll give you marks for that. Okay, now for questions 7, 8, 9, be very careful with question numbers. These are 3 questions. So in your answer booklet, make sure that you're on 3 different lines here, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Number 7, 2170, taken and failed. Well, taken the spring, not taking at all. What do you think? What's the answer to question number 7? What's going on there with the student? Charlie Sen says B will take in the spring, and you're correct, Charlie. B it is. Anisha Kunwar, You're right. Tito, Preeti, you're right. Elena, very good. So 7, yep. Number 8, is it, so we don't have B anymore, so now it's just A or C. So number 8, taken and failed. C, not taking at all. What do you think's going on there? For number 8, Le Pouge, none. You should be right there with A for 8. Okay, so A, and of course that leaves only C for number 9. Now here's a little tip. Notice the difference here. You have a 1, here you have 2s. That's because for universities, usually the way it works is the number, when it starts with a 1, it means it's first year. Okay? If the number starts with a 2, then that usually means it's a second year course. If it's a third year course, what number do you think it starts with? So if it's a third year course, what do you think the course number will start with? It's a little bonus question for you. And this is true for most universities in the US, Canada, Australia, so on. And I think many universities around the world. Yeah, 3. So Ildar says 3. Yeah. So if it's third year, it starts with the number 3. If it's fourth year, it will start with the number 4. Okay? If it's master's or PhD, or a PhD class, it will start with the number 5. Okay? 5 usually shows postgraduate course. I haven't really seen 6. So master's, PhD classes, they start with 5. First year, 1 starts with 1. Second year starts with 2. If it's a high school equivalent, sometimes in college, university, you can do high school equivalent courses. What number do you think it starts with? This is my super bonus question for the day. So if it's a high school level course offered in university or college, like a math course, because maybe somebody needs it, they never did it in high school, what do you think it starts with, the course number? Yeah, very good. It starts with a 0. Good. Charlie, Joanne, Preeti, yeah, very good. Yeah, so high school equivalents start with 0. Good. Okay. All right, students, so far, so good. A little bit of cultural knowledge there as well. It always helps. So logic, right, can help here because she's in second year. So the only one that she likely took and failed is a first year class, which is 1270. So B, A, and C. All right, so use logic, students. Use your own knowledge. IELTS does not lie. They use real-world information. They don't make it up. Okay, here we go. Last question, number 10. The student is registered for 1270 with the same professor as she previously had. A, true, B, false. What do you think? Yeah, the correct answer is B. Okay? For this kind of a question, be really careful. B is correct. If you write false, the idea is correct, but you'll get it wrong because it says choose the correct letter, not write true or false. Okay? So Nishi, Garg, if you write false, you'll get that wrong. Okay? You have to follow the instructions. That's part of the test. All right? Students, be really careful with that. So paying attention and following the instructions is part of the exam. All right? Not just these questions, because they're looking for your logic and your critical thinking. Okay? Hi, sweet creature. Okay, so that's another tip here, especially for this kind of question. So be very careful with question instructions, as these are part of your exam. Okay, so is that clear? All right, make sure you pay close attention to that. If you write false, For space number 10, you'll get it wrong, even though conceptually it's the right answer. Okay, all right. Students, here we go. Last question for this section or this part. What did you get out of 10? What did you get? What was your score? How did you do? How did you do in part 1 of the listening section? So Charlie says, I got 9. Elena says 9. Anisha, 9. Pavan, 9. Derek, 9. Lepouge, 8. Dr. Krishna got 9. Yeah, I think a lot of you lost that 1 mark on question number 2, what the student is worried about. A little bit tricky. Here's another really important tip, students. Okay, to get band 7 or more in the listening section, you should aim to get at least 9 correct from 10 in part 1, as the following parts will only be more difficult. Okay, so keep that in mind. You want to really do well in part 1 because these are your easiest marks. Okay, if you're getting less than 8, especially if you're getting less than 7, work really, really hard on your listening skills. Okay, all right. So be really, really careful. Okay. All right, students, let's do the next part. Let's do part 2 together. Again, I'm going to play the audio from our website. Make sure to use a headset or turn up the volume if it's quiet, and don't write your answers in the chat until the very end, okay? So give other students a chance to answer. I know some of you are really excited and proud to get the right answer, but if you get the wrong answer, you're confusing other students, okay? So be really, really careful with that. Here we go, students. Let's go back to the website. Track 2. I'm going to darken the screen a bit here just because we have a couple of brighter questions. So let's do that. Okay, let's get it to that brightness there. And then let's get ready. Again, wait till the end to share your answers. Write them in a separate document or on a separate piece of paper.
Now turn to section 2. Take some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Listening, section 2. You will hear a woman showing a group of people around an all-inclusive resort hotel. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully to the interview and answer questions 11 to 16.
I'd like to welcome all of you to the White Sands 5-star resort here in beautiful Varadero, Cuba. Today, I'm going to show you the fine features you'll get to experience during your stay here at White Sands. Before we begin, does anyone have any questions?
Hi there. Yes, I have a quick question. How long will the tour be? I have to meet the rest of my family for lunch in an hour.
Not a problem, sir. The tour will take no more than 30 minutes. If after this time anyone wants more details on any of the resort's features, I can help them out individually. Any other questions? No? Well, let's get started then. White Sands covers 10 acres of land, including direct access to over 250 metres of pristine Caribbean coastline. It is perfectly safe to swim in the waters here at White Sands, but do be on the lookout for jellyfish in the water. They are not deadly, but their sting does pack a punch. As we pass through the lobby, I want you to take note of the main bar area on your left. The bar is open from 11 in the morning each day and closes at 1 a.m. each night. As we proceed down the main path, you'll see 4 apartment buildings marked A and B on your left and C and D on your right. Between buildings C and D on your right is one of our finest restaurants featuring traditional Cuban cuisine. We have 7 restaurants in all at White Sands, and we invite you to try your favourites while you are here.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
In our brochure, I read that we are only entitled to 5 restaurant visits per week we stay at the resort. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. The restaurants are only open for dinner, and reservations are mandatory. You will be able to make reservations at the end of this tour or any time before 5 this evening. When you are not dining at our a la carte restaurants, you may eat at either of our 2 buffet restaurants, which are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Additionally, there is a night cafe, which is open until 4 a.m.
Does the resort have a nightclub for dancing?
Yes, of course. We have a discotheque located at the end of the main resort path, further away from the apartments. This is, of course, for noise reasons. In fact, the discotheque is conveniently located next to the night cafe.
And what are the discotheque's hours?
It opens at 8 in the evening and closes at 3 a.m. early the next morning. Last call for drinks is at 2:45.
You now have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 17 to 20.
Next, I'd like to take you down to the beach and show you some of the facilities and services we offer. As we approach the beach, you'll notice the brilliant white sand that our resort is named after. The sand is incredibly fine and is lovely to walk on in your bare feet. Now you can see to your left is one of our beach bar facilities. There is also another beach bar about 100 metres to your right. These bars serve beer and cocktails from noon until 4:30 in the afternoon. On your right is a small cafe serving snack food items during the same opening hours as the beach bar. And straight ahead of us is our beach changing facility, where you can change into your swimming costume, use the toilet, or have a shower.
Are there any water sports included in our holiday package?
Good question. Yes, there are. You have unlimited access to our skimboards, surfboards, and beach sports equipment, such as beach volleyball and football. Additionally, you may sign up for windsurfing at our activity desk, located adjacent to the resort lobby. Finally, you may also register for our weekly water polo tournament, which is held each Friday afternoon at 2:30. Does anyone else have any?
That is the end of section 2. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
And again, students, use that half minute to check your answers. We're going to do it together now. So let's start with this one here, and then I can brighten it up after. So we'll start with number 17, just because it's bright, this question. So which is the correct answer for this diagram selection question? The beach bars are located on the left and right from the entrance. So A looks good, but the correct answer for 17 is D. That's right, sweet creature Galena Tito, because the last piece of information that we get is that the cafe is also located on the right. Okay, so here you really have to pay attention to left and right from the entrance. Okay, so D was the correct answer. You put D into your answer key and you will get it correct. All right, now I can brighten up our day a little bit and then go back to the preceding question. So let's do these together. Let's answer them. Here we go with number 11. Approximately how long will the tour be according to the guide? Is it A, quarter of an hour, B, an hour, or C, half an hour? Emmy Fahad says it's C, it's a half an hour. Nagora agrees. Violet knew and remembers the abacadabra, which you should never do. Yeah, C. Yeah. Okay. The speaker doesn't say half an hour. The speaker says 30 minutes, right? So the speaker says 30 minutes, but of course 30 minutes paraphrased is half an hour. So C was the correct answer. All right, now we get into this little bit trickier multiple choice question. What are 4 features of the resort? What were the correct answers here? So you had to choose 4 letters. This is worth 4 marks because it's questions 12 to 15. So here you have 12, 13, 14, 15. The order doesn't matter, but you have to get the correct answers. And the correct answers for this question were A, D, E, and G. So A, D, E, G. These were the correct answers. A, D, E, G. The order doesn't matter. Okay, so there's a night cafe. There's 4 apartment buildings. There is a number of restaurants. And there's direct beach access. Okay, I'm going to help you a little bit here and give you some strategy for this type of question so you can do better next time. Did anybody who watches these lessons use the strategies that I explained earlier? Which is, for this type of question, write down what you hear. Okay, so here is a strategy for these, okay? Strategy for multiple choice questions. Okay, strategy number 1, and you probably saw me do this, is spend more time to review this question type. Strategy 2, write down the answers on the question booklet and then choose the correct ones after. Write quick and use shorthand when possible. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean. If that's a bit confusing for you, that's totally okay. I'll show you what I mean. So here, you hear night cafe, so you're writing down night cafe, okay? You hear 200-meter beach. You hear bar, okay? You hear 2 buffets. You hear 7 restaurants. You hear buildings A, B, C, D. Okay, notice how fast I'm writing those down. So imagine that this is my question booklet and I'm just taking notes. And after I write these down, now this is where it's really important to pay attention to question 16 about the discotheque, because I know that I can stop writing and just choose the correct answer, which was B here. Okay, so the last call is at 2:45. For the discotheque, it closes at 3, so I know that I don't have to keep writing. Obviously, I'm not taking notes until the end of part 1. But I think many of you probably caught this information. So did you hear this information? Like, did you hear 7 restaurants? Did you hear 2 buffets? Did you hear buildings A, B, C, D? Did you hear those? Did you hear that information? Did you write down that information? Like I did just now, quickly. Okay? So did you write it down in the question booklet as you heard it, so that you can choose them and check them in your review time or in your transferring answer time? Ah, so I can see that a lot of you heard them, but you didn't write them down. And that's probably why you were making some mistakes. Check it out, okay? So 4 apartment buildings, that coincides with buildings A, B, C, D. So if I know that I have these, I can choose D effectively, okay? 7 restaurants. 7 restaurants coincides with a number of restaurants. So I know I can choose that. 2 buffets. 2 buffets does not coincide with several buffet restaurants because several is greater than 2. Okay, keep that in mind for future when you're using English. Several is greater than 2. What do we use in English when we want to say 2 in another way? Yeah, so pak phuong, here's your answer. Several is more than 2. Okay? Yeah, that's right, Nigora. We use the word couple. Okay? So it goes 1, couple, several, many. Okay? So that's 1, 2. This is 3 to 5, let's say, and many is greater than 5. Okay? So greater than 5. Okay, or sorry, greater than 5. There we go. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. All right, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, deadly jellyfish? No, they're not deadly. The woman says they're not deadly, but they do pack a punch. She also says the water is perfectly safe to swim in. Okay, so be really careful. I think some of you chose deadly jellyfish, but why would the woman say the water is safe to swim in and then say there's deadly jellyfish? That doesn't make sense. So she says the water is safe to swim in. There are jellyfish. They're not deadly, but they pack a punch. It means they're dangerous or they sting, but they don't kill you. Okay? All right. So, doing great. Number 17, we answered. And finally, we have our last set of questions, which is the paragraph completion. I was a little bit late, I know, to get to these ones. Hopefully some of you got them. Let's go through these. The beach bars serve beer and cocktails from noon until when? So until what time do the beach bars serve cocktail? Did anybody catch that? It's a little bit fast, for sure. Yeah, very good, Secret Life. 4:30. Yeah, it was 4:30 p.m. Okay, sure. Or you can also write 16:30. That's fine too. All right, 4:30. Yeah, noon until 4:30. That makes sense. In addition to the small cafe on the beach, we also offer changing. Now, if you know the word changing, you should be able to figure out the word here. Even if you didn't catch it, I was a little bit late, you should be able to guess number 19. Galena cabin, almost, not quite. You do need the right word here. I don't think they're going to give it to you for cabin, but facilities. Okay, changing facilities. Yeah, sometimes they're called cabins or changing rooms, but in British English, changing facilities, where you can change in and out of your swimming costume. We also offer plenty of sports at the resort, whether it is skimboarding, beach volleyball, football, windsurfing, or our once a week something tournament. What kind of a tournament? Yeah, that's right, Elena. It's water polo. Water polo. Water polo. Very good. That was the last one. All right, students, how did you do? What did you get out of 20? So part 1, part 2 together. What did you get? What was your overall part 1, part 2 score from 20? How did you do? Charlie says 18. 18 is a really nice score, Charlie, for part 1 and 2 together. Pavan says 17. That's fantastic. Tito, I think you're focusing on just part 2 like Kisan. Dr. Krishna says perfect score with some glowing lights. That's fantastic. Okay, Elena, 17 out of 20 is really good. All right. Harshu, Anisha, 16 out of 20 is good too. Okay. So anything 15, 16 higher is good. Okay. If it's less, you need to work on it to get those better band scores in the listening section. Okay. So keep that in mind that for, this is just a note here, for band 7 or more, you should get at least 15 or more correct in parts 1 and 2. Okay, keep that in mind. Students, really good job. I know it's really challenging to do these kinds of listening tests in another language. I've been there, I've done it. I've learned Japanese, I'm learning Spanish, so I know how it feels. I'm there with you. Again, to get all 6 of our practice exams, their original exams, we test them with IELTS students, with IELTS examiners, with education psychologists, and for all of our strategies, tips, application for your phone, visit and join our premium package, aehelp.com for academic IELTS, gieltshelp.com for general IELTS, and you can use the code. I'm going to give you a little coupon code here. R4TYJ will get you a 20% discount. So you can use those on the websites. Fantastic participation today, students. Stay safe, keep your immune system strong, get good sleep, be healthy, okay? Avoid contact for now with other people. And tomorrow, I look forward to having you in these classes. We will have listening parts 3 and 4 from this exam, so you can practice there. That's all for now. My name is Adrian, signing out. Much love from Budapest to all of you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Bye for now.